Getting to see and draw other people's characters and learning more about their designs is super interesting to me. You get to see how you would apply what you see in your own way while learning more about the characters. I like this a lot, so I'm happy to say, hi, here's May and welcome to another part of Drawing Your OCs. Let's start with the first character for today's video. This would be Riley Rocketstar by Sam. First, I'll tell you a bit more about her based on the description of the character sent in by their artist. Riley, or another way to spell her name would be this, which I find is pretty cool and fitting to her space astronaut theme, is the villain in her story. She's a mass-produced battle android as well as a TV mascot, advertising things such as cereal and TV shows. She also looks down on other, more clunky bots, and her design would be inspired by 60s and 70s American sci-fi. That would be it for a basic description. I find her design really conveys who she is. I haven't drawn sci-fi astronaut inspired outfits often, so getting to do this here was interesting. I have seen a few shows and games with a sci-fi aesthetic such as Voltron, and the battle android aspect reminded me of Detroit Become Human. I remember watching a let's play of it and being really interested by how the choices would affect the story. But here for Riley, she seems like a pretty fun character, and I like how the illustrations for her also show her in action. I don't draw younger looking characters with bigger eyes like she has often, and I found when drawing I was thinking about how big I would want to portray the eyes, how round and wide I would want to make the face, and so on. In the end, I just went with how I drew her intuitively. To me, it seems like you apply what you see in other designs while still including aspects from your own way you draw, so how the character looks in the end would fall somewhere in between the other artist's design or style and your own art style, which would be the tendency of how you portray different things. Just thinking about this is interesting to me. For Riley's eyes, she has very big pupils, and I noticed I tend to draw rather small pupils most of the time, so overall I made the pupils smaller than in her initial design, but still bigger than how I would usually draw it. Shading the metal in her design was also really nice to me. I love to practice drawing different materials, and getting to draw the outfit in general was nice to learn more about drawing more sci-fi inspired outfits. That's it for drawing Riley. Let's move on to the next character. This is Hachiko, or Phantom Lady, by Lucy Tan on YouTube. And Hachiko would be a superheroine who's also a genetically modified human, and her artist also wrote that as superpower she can separate her soul from body, inspired by Perona from One Piece. She's part of a story that has a lot of superheroes in it. Personality-wise, she would be very carefree and joke around a lot. Hachiko has 3 outfits in her design: the civilian form, a superheroine costume, and an alternative civilian form. I decided to draw her in her civilian form here. Hachiko's design was fun to draw to me. I haven't drawn sharp teeth like here other than for Mayoi from Ensemble Stars and Desmodius from Cafe Enchante before. I like this more unique feature, and her different skin color for the face makes her design more interesting as well. I like how this draws some attention to the face. Her hair also is very saturated with its bright turquoise neon color, which contributes to this. What I found kind of cool with the first 2 characters here is how the superheroine Hachiko has more black colors in her design, while the villain Riley has a lot of bright colors. In many shows and fandoms in general, this tends to be the other way around, with the heroes having a brighter color palette while the villains have a darker one, and for these character designs this was the other way around, which I find really cool. I would love to see a fandom where the character designs don't fit to the usual standards. For Hachiko's civilian form, the blue bow and the fingerless gloves in her outfit are also a nice addition to her design. Including some accessoires like these make any character design more unique. And this would be it for drawing Hachiko. Next, let's move on to the third character, Vespera. Here I don't have the username of who submitted the design, but feel free to leave a comment if you're watching this. Vespera is a fallen angel. She used to be a guardian angel, which would be the highest class of angels in her world. She got demoted to being a fallen angel when she accidentally killed children that bullied the human she was guarding. Personality-wise, Vespera is calm and nonchalant, and the scar on her face is from her death as human. You can also see that Vespera is a fallen angel when you look at her wings. Usually angels have bigger wings right below the shoulder blades and smaller ones at their lower back in the world Vespera is from. For her bigger wings were cut off and the ones at the lower back cut in half. That's it for the description, and drawing a angel character here reminded me of drawing the Cafe Enchante characters a while ago, and from that experience I can say drawing angel wings can be pretty time consuming, so it was nice that Vespera didn't have big wings. I find her appearance suits her role as angel with the very bright colors. Well, she also has this calmer vibe to her. I find especially longer flowy sleeves give characters this calm, more serious and kind of mysterious vibe. Kokumi or even Ayato from Genshin Impact would be 2 other characters with longer sleeves I can think of right now. Also, I personally love wearing clothes with long sleeves and oversized clothes in general. They feel really comfortable. I like studying the folds for clothes like these as well, and it was nice to do this for her outfit here as well. Other than this, while drawing I also was unsure of how defined I should portray the anatomy of her stomach and torso. I wanted to include some indications indications, but to still have it be subtle. I haven't drawn an outfit like for Vespera here before, and I liked how this, as well as all the other designs in this video, pushed me a bit out of my comfort zone. Now let's move on to the final character. This one would be Milos Eugene. Here I don't have the name for who submitted the character again. If you're watching this, you can leave a comment. And this one was submitted a pretty long time ago, but ever since I first saw him, I really wanted to draw him, so I'm glad I get to do this here. Milos is 26 years old and is the president of a famous trading company. He has a lot of pride, can be arrogant, and is cold-hearted. He also loves cats. I wanted to go with a pretty elegant vibe for him and added in a cat as well. Cats are actually one of my favorite animals. Our family also has one. And while I don't draw animals often, cats are ones I've drawn many times before. I also thought him being the president of a trading company kind of fits to the black suit outfit a lot. He seems pretty mysterious and it makes sense that he would be very prideful. He's probably very focused on work and making profits with his company. Drawing Milos' hair was interesting. I find the slight asymmetry in his hairstyle nice. You'll see that for all characters I drew, I would add in some slight hue variation in the end. This is something I like to do to make my art stand out more, and because I really like pastel purple, blue and turquoise colors. So including this in my art makes sense to me. You can also let me know if you've been experimenting with adding some effects like these or which other ones you know of in the comments. Shading wise, I kind of went pretty intuitive here. Sometimes I block in the lighting before I'm drawing, especially when it comes to illustrations where I want to go for a special lighting setup. But here for the illustrations, I try to just start with shading the skin and then base the rest of the shading on this, and I enjoyed this process. That would be it for drawing Milos. With that, this video comes to an end. Thanks to everyone who submitted a character, and if you would like to submit a character for me to redraw in a future video, I leave a link to a form in the video description. You can also post your art using the hashtag DrawMayOC on Instagram. I enjoyed drawing the characters and getting to know more about them and look forward to any future submissions. Thanks for watching and bye!